What's up guys, it's Frank here from Altcoin Buzz to give you the technical analysis that you look for in this market to break things down in a simple and accessible and easy way for you to understand. Today, of course, we are looking at Polkadot, currently in 12th place, has seen 9.1% growth over the past 24 hours. One of the highest growing altcoins over the past 24 hours, along with Cardano and Tron. But of course, the question is, will this continue, as we have seen a lot of blood over the past several months, a 75% dump almost. So is this the bottom? That is the question that I'm going to be answering in this video by giving you a detailed analysis on everything from the monthly to the 4-hour time frame. Guys, stay tuned until the end of the video. I'm going to give you a price prediction. I'm going to give you 3 scenarios in terms of how the price could play out and which one I think is the most likely. And I'm even going to give you a trade setup, potential trade setup that you can enter if you choose to long this market. Now, for those of you who don't know, Altcoin Buzz is first and foremost a crypto investment research company, and we have been providing you numerous 100x returns since 2017. So if you want to get in on that action, join our Altcoin Buzz access group where we document up-to-date research covering undervalued altcoin gems, NFT minting opportunities, and our portfolio strategies. So click the link up above or down in the pinned comment section below to take part in the action today. Please also don't forget to like, subscribe, and click the notification bell so that you don't miss any future updates. And finally, please note that none of this is financial advice. Okay, so here we are seeing a very similar pattern which we're seeing across many altcoins, which is that the monthly chart is in an uptrend. Now, Polkadot, unlike a few of the other charts that we've seen, is very, very close to the previous monthly low of about $10.4. So this is a very critical point in the time here at which Polkadot needs to show strength, needs to show signs of a potential reversal. Now, as I mentioned, we have a 75% retracement from the all-time high. Now let's have a look at the previous time we had a retracement. We had, look at this, we had 79%, and then after that we really saw the bottom here at around this $10 mark, and then from $10 we had a 320% move up. So it's just to show you that, you know, when we see these kind of 60, 70, 80% retracements in the market and altcoins, that's the time to really be looking, you know, for reversals. So let's go down to the lower time frames to see what signs, if any, we are seeing of potential reversals. So on the weekly chart, we are seeing that we had a wick taking us down to the $14.05 level back on the 21st of February. And now on the 25th of April, we saw a low of that week. We saw a low where we tested that support again, and we've had 2 lower wicks here bringing us back up. So this is a sign that this market structure, this previous support that we had, could be valid and that we could see a reversal from here. In addition, we are officially out of the weekly downtrend. When we broke the $23.26 level, we broke the previous high, so we had a high, and now we have potentially a higher low, but of course we are not yet officially in an uptrend. Now, when it comes to the RSI, we're seeing something interesting. Look at this line, 39.55. This marks a spot where multiple times in the past we've touched it or come close to it, but we haven't broken this support line on the RSI. So this is a good sign that the bearish momentum is slowing down on the weekly time frame and that we are potentially at a bottom, considering that we are very, very close to this RSI. Okay, before I get to the daily and 4-hour charts to give you the price prediction and a potential trade setup for Polkadot, tell me, what do you think? Do you think we will break the $14.05 level? If you do, type in bearish. If you think that this is the bottom and that we are now going to see a reversal of the uptrend, then type in bullish. Okay, now on the daily chart, we are seeing a very important pattern. One of the patterns I mentioned at the beginning of the video that you need to be looking out for. This is a descending wedge. So what does this mean? This means that if we break bullish from this descending wedge, we are likely to see quite a move up in terms of price. And of course, this is a bullish pattern, so we are looking for a bullish breakout. That being said, we are still within this pattern, and there's still a possibility of us touching this bottom trend line before we have another move up. Now, remember how we saw the weekly RSI bottoming out at 39.55? Well, the daily RSI has also found support multiple times at the 27.8 or just above it. And as you can see, we tested this 27.8. So again, a sign that the bearish momentum has reached a peak and that we are likely slowing down now in terms of bearish momentum. Not a sure sign that we are reversing, but certainly a sure sign that the bearish momentum is slowing down. Now I'm going to take you down to the 4-hour time frame where we can really look to see what is happening, because neither the daily nor the weekly chart are in an uptrend, but the 4-hour is in an uptrend. As you can see here, ever since the 30th of April, we have started a new trend in the 4-hour, which is this uptrend. So the question is, can we maintain this uptrend? Well, first of all, let's have a look at some of the good signs. One of the good signs is this bullish volume, which we saw on the 4th of May. We haven't seen this much bullish volume for, well, 2 weeks now at least. So this is a good sign that we are potentially reversing. We had this diagonal resistance on the RSI, which we broke out of, another good sign. And we can see the MACD histogram is growing in momentum. So again, it looks like things are looking up on the 4-hour time frame. So before I show you the trade setup and my price prediction for Polkadot USDT, I want to show you the major support levels that we need to be watching out for. So on the 4-hour here, we are seeing the $14.56 level. This has marked a double bottom on the 4-hour. It will be a very important level to watch out for if you are entering a trade here. Then of course we have the $14.05 level, which if we just zoom out a bit here, you can see that it marks the previous weekly low. So again, a very, very important level for us to hold on the weekly time frame. And then finally, the last level is the $10.37 level. This marked a very, very important pivot point and of course the previous monthly low. Okay, taking us back to the 4-hour now. So the resistance, so the most immediate resistance is the $18.21 level. This has marked a previous high and previous low in terms of market structure, but the most important reason for why this is a resistance is that we've seen a lot of price action within the $18 to $18.8 region. So you can see that is marked by these blue and yellow bars here, which are the volume profile, only available on the official professional version of TradingView. And if we go to the daily chart, you can see going back here that this red line marks the most trading volume within that range. So this range is at the middle of it is about 18.09. But in general, everything between the 18 and the $18.8 region are important resistance. So that is what I have marked as the first initial resistance to get above. The second resistance is the $19.66 level. This is marked by the daily high, the previous daily high that we've seen. We need to break that to break the daily downtrend. And then finally, of course, if we go to the weekly chart, we can see the relevance of the next resistance, which is the $23.85 level. This, of course, would break the weekly downtrend. So as you can see, we have several resistances which are important to break before we can confirm that there is a reversal. Okay, now I found this interesting idea on TradingView for .USDT, and this is called the BAT pattern. This is actually an alternative version of the BAT pattern. I'm not going to go into detail explaining what it is, but you can see that there is a pattern here which has been discovered by Scott Carney in 2001, and it has this XABCD pattern, and it seems that this is lining up for a reversal. This is a reversal pattern. So it's a good sign that we are potentially going to reverse from here. In addition to that, as I mentioned, we have the descending wedge pattern here. So these are two signs that we are potentially reversing here. But of course, we do need confirmation, and the conservative trader will be looking for confirmation before entering a trade here. That being said, if you were to enter a trade, here is the setup I would take. So I would go on the 4-hour time frame because the 4-hour is in an uptrend, and I would be looking to enter if and when we reach approximately the $15.6 level. Why? Because then we can have a stop loss sort of just below the previous double bottom, which is likely going to be an important support. And we can say, okay, the first resistance that we would likely see is around the $18 level. This would give us almost a 2-to-1 on this trade, which is not bad. That being said, I would be betting for a reversal here as well. So I'd probably take half of my profits here and let the rest of the trade play out to potentially hit higher levels such as the $19.66 level, which of course would give us a 3-to-1 on our investment. That is a potential trade. I've actually got an alert set for this $15.6 level, because if we do get to that, there is an interesting trade setup here. That being said, this is a high risk, high reward. We are basically betting that this is the very bottom. So it's not a trade which I'm very confident in, but because we have a decent risk to reward, that's the most important thing, that you get a good risk to reward on your trades. Even if we lose this trade 50% of the time, we would still make a profit. But again, please note, this is not financial advice. All right, now finally, let's get to the price prediction. Okay, so I see 3 scenarios, and I'm going to tell you the one scenario which I think is the most likely. One scenario is that we actually find support here on this 4-hour, and we don't break below the double bottom. Maybe we trade within this descending wedge that I talked about, and then we break out of it, and then bam, we start a new uptrend. Although at the very beginning, obviously, we would find potentially, very likely, some resistance around the $18 level. That's scenario 1. Now, scenario 2 is that we come down here, we actually break this support, and if we do break this support, I think it's quite likely that we will actually see a new low. We'll even break the daily support, because this will really make people lose faith in this market. However, there is the possibility that we have a sort of rather quick and explosive move down to the approximately $13 level, in any case, anywhere along this diagonal line, and then find support there and go on to break out of this descending wedge, which again, remember, is a bullish pattern. And finally, the third scenario which I see, again, I'm going to tell you which one I think is most likely. The third scenario is that we really continue the weekly downtrend, and that we break 4-hour support, we break the daily, and then we come all the way down to test potentially somewhere close to the previous monthly low of $10.37, or maybe this descending wedge plays out and it's a bit more extended before we see another move up. But note how all 3 of these scenarios leads us to having a reversal. And why is that? Because the monthly chart is still in an uptrend. This is what I always try to tell you guys. It's important to look at the bigger picture, because when the monthly chart is in an uptrend, then we have a bullish bias. Now, of course, the weekly chart is not in an uptrend. Now, the weekly chart is currently not in an uptrend nor a downtrend. We have broken the downtrend, as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, but we do not yet have an uptrend. So there's a lot of uncertainty when it comes to the weekly chart. All right, so back to those 3 scenarios. Which one do I think is the most likely? I'm going to say that the 2 most likely are that we either find support at the $14.55 level, or at the very least don't break that support. And the second most likely scenario is that we find support below that, approximately the $13 to $12 region, before reversing. And finally, I think the least likely scenario is that we break all those supports and come down towards the $10.37 level. Let me know what you think of those scenarios. You can type in the comment section below. Which one do you think is most likely? Number 1, which is that we hold the 4-hour support. Number 2, which is that we break the daily support but then find a reversal immediately afterwards. Or number 3, that we completely smash through the daily support and have several more weeks of bearish price action before we move up. All right, guys, that's been it from me for today. If you want to see some of my other trading videos, you can check out Cosmos. I covered Atom just a couple of days ago, so check that video out if you want to see more trading analysis. And with that being said, guys, I'll see you in the next one.